Star Trek is owned by CBS Studios, Inc. Look again at that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of. Every human being who ever was lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering. Thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines. Every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor, and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam. Imagination will often carry us to worlds that never were, but without it we go nowhere. Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known. These are the voyages of the USS Pegasus.
Stardate 410410.9. Science Officer's Log. After capturing the rogue Vulcan and her companions, we are returning to Neandra Station to hand them in to the Judge Advocate General for processing. Kelle will be asked to testify how much the radiation from the artifact affected their mental stability. End of Science Officer's Log.
Hunt will look up. He'll sort of turn his head towards the captain's chair, not actually looking at it, but, you know, in a sense to direct the voice in that direction. Captain, I'm picking up a faint communication. Someone's requesting assistance. The message is fairly faint and garbled, picking up something about a death. The coordinates are the Asarian system, 123.46.
All right, I think our prisoner can wait. Set course for the Assyrian system. Lieutenant?
Yes, Captain. Setting course, plotting a course now.
Lieutenant Thatch, what do we know about this system?
Not much. I don't think we've been here before or explored it. Captain, it looks like there's definitely no record of Federation outposts. but it looks like there's a stable asteroid field orbiting a small gas planet. It's a little bit unusual because gas planets tend to be bigger, as I'm sure you know.
Yes. Interesting. Very good.
I'm not reading any ships, not from this distance. We'll have to get closer if we want to find out more information about them.
We're a day away, Mr. Hunt, but I suggest coming in on the edge of the system. Let's see what we can see, rather than barreling into something.
Roger that, Captain. This Hunt's sort of not banging away on the console, but entering in commands. The ship banks around to the left. The inertial dampers kick in, so everyone sort of feels a slight pull to their right. Currently at warp 3, and after he pulls around, lines up.
Lieutenant, what language was the distress call in?
Who are you speaking to?
How many lieutenants?
I'm speaking to... Oh, okay.
I'm not there, so...
Sorry,
Are there any red
I'm
shirts?
Commander.
Oh, they wouldn't be lieutenants, would they?
They don't live long enough to get promoted.
I did mean Commander Hunt. For some reason I said Lieutenant. That is not what I meant.
Yeah, coming through in English, sir. Oh, why am I calling you sir? Coming through in English, Thatcher. Oh my god.
Now Thatcher's got promoted.
So I've demoted Hunt and promoted.
They've just traded. They felt like switching ranks.
It's been a long shift.
The captain presses something and says, duty log for Mr. Yennek. Possibly consider shortening the late shift. Fatigue seems to be a problem.
I will give that its due consideration.
And he opens communication to engineering. We'll be running at warp 7 for an extended period of time. Please monitor the engines, and if there is any concern, let the bridge know.
Can I check and see if Starfleet has recorded any missions in the area?
Yes, you can, and you can have another roll. I am trying to give you momentum in case you need it.
Yeah, I don't know why we would need it. It's not like we're going to fight a giant robot again, probably.
So certain are you?
Well,
That
one
is
success.
For me?
Yeah? Isn't it?
No, that's 3 success.
Oh, wait, 12. Never mind.
Yeah, if there are any. Just like who might be speaking English in this corner of our galaxy. Okay. Captain, I've just checked the Starfleet records, and the system has been named only. None of the major factions have sent any ships, as far as we know. I'm sure the Romulans or someone could have, and we wouldn't necessarily know that. But it seems rather uncharted and mostly unknown. There's no records of Starfleet sending anyone here. It's a little bit strange that someone is sending out a distress call. I suggest we enter on high alert.
Mr. Hunt, when we arrive, enact yellow alert.
Roger that, sir.
No reason to take chances. And you said it was English? That wasn't the universal translator?
Okay. No, sir, it was coming through direct in English. It was a female voice, sir.
Not unheard of for the other races to have learned our language, but chances are it's actually someone from Earth. What are they doing there? And if it's not a Federation vessel?
Colonists, Captain? Maybe one of the asteroids are habitable.
It'd have to be a really big asteroid.
Alright, all we have now are questions. Hopefully we'll have answers in a day.
Well, with your leave, Captain, I've set in a course. Do you mind if I go off shift?
No, that is okay. You too, Mr. Thatch. I don't think the ship is in any immediate danger.
With your leave, Captain. I will walk to the turbo lift.
And heads into the turbo lift with Thatcher.
And a pilot and a science officer exits the turbo lift and
where they were just
waiting and takes over your duties.
Hunt turns to Thatcher. You might have overreacted a little bit up there with.
Well, on the contrary, I think that maybe we didn't do enough. Something about this really, it's bothering me.
What's bothering you?
I don't know, just why would a ship, whether it's colonists or, I don't know, something feels off. It doesn't make any sense for English-speaking people to be out there. And they're not on any Starfleet records.
Out in an uncharted system.
Yeah. Like, the only people I can think of would be pirates.
You have people that are obviously, want to go out and explore places. You got those kinds of people. You got, I guess, colonists who might be scrounging around for resources. If it's a solar system, there's a potential for a lot of resources there, especially on the fringe. I don't think it's anywhere near contested space that I can recall.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm not thinking it's a Romulan trap or anything. I just, it doesn't hurt to be prepared.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess when, because I grew up in the Outer Rims, if we ever got into a sticky situation, it's quite easy just to fly ourselves out of there. The ships were small enough, easy to hide too. I mean, you could fly in and out of asteroids and zip around. But a ship like this, and he's looking up around the limited turbo lift space that you are both in. Yeah, this is a bit would be a bit harder to hide.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Anyway, there was a female voice. It certainly didn't sound evil to me. Well, she didn't sound evil. Or it didn't seem
well, that's
like
how they get you.
That's how who gets you? The pirates.
Well, yeah, they're not going to put their gruffest, meanest sounding person on the distress call if it's like a fake one. They'd put their most innocent person. It's a tactic.
And the turbo lift stops. And Hunt puts out his arm. So, in that sense, if there was a gruff merchant out there, in his ship, and it broke down, and he's like, let's say, calling up help from Starship for, help me, I'm, stressed out, my ship's broken down, can you please come and give me a hand? Yeah.
I'd be more inclined to trust them.
So, your logic, a calm, assertive female voice requesting assistance is the possibility of a trap. Well,
you didn't mention them being assertive, but I mean, I would say a female voice is
Well,
more likely to be a trap.
She sounded like she was in command.
Well, we can't know for sure until we get there, but I think it's safest to say that if we're at least yellow alert, if not red alert, coming into the system, we're not going to get jumped and be unprepared for attack ships or some sort of trap. I don't think that will be the case. I hope that's not the case. But in case it is, we should be ready.
Okay, sound advice. It'll be a good opportunity for me to test out the weapon systems on this thing. Hunt steps out of the turbolift, still holding the turbolift doors open. And
Thatcher will step out as well.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say this is my level, but no, you're on this level too.
Mm-hmm. It's like crew quarters, I'm guessing. Yeah, I know it's not necessarily my place to give strategic advice, but I don't know, just something about this one in particular. So you're right, maybe I am just overreacting. Maybe I just need some sleep.
Well, in fairness, I tend not to think when I go into situations, so that's why we have a captain.
Do you ever think you'll make captain one day?
Oh, heck no. 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 That's just wrong. No. I hate giving orders. Just as much as I hate taking them, to be honest.
What made you join Starfleet then?
Actually, that's a really good question. More of a join Starfleet to, let's say, he's sort of like squinting. He's trying to say this without. He's obviously looking very uncomfortable. More to probably stay out of trouble than anything.
Huh.
But he's
how's that going for you?
Looking down at his rank. At his a couple of pips that he has on his shoulder. You'll probably find out soon enough. Me and authority do tend to clash a fair bit. So, Starfleet's rules are very constraining. It's not. I don't agree with everything that Starfleet stands for, but I mean, in promise, it provides great opportunities, but yeah.
Aura just kind of looks a little bit surprised. His antenna kind of go up a little bit. Really, I never took you for the rule breaker type, but
well, let's
just say,
I'm skating on thin ice at the moment. Let's just say.
Yeah, I've made a mistake before, and since then I try and follow every rule to the letter. But
oh God, I could not even think to do that. And he's looking up at the ceiling of the hallway. He's just like, oh my God.
Well, I suppose that's why you're commander and I'm still lieutenant. Perhaps your critical thinking and bending of the rules is what has allowed you to well, you never know. Maybe that's a quality that Starfleet looks for in higher commands. I don't know.
Well, anyway, this door's me. Yeah, good chatting with you, Thatcher.
Yes, I will see you tomorrow when we arrive at the planet. Hopefully everything goes smoothly.
Yes, hopefully. Hopefully it's not a trap like you think it is. Okay. Have a good night. And Hunt steps into his quarters after the door opens. He doesn't step into the door.
Not before. Okay.
And Thatcher will... Or I will continue to his own room a little ways down the hall.
Hunt's sort of thinking, I didn't realise we were on the same level. It's a wonder I haven't bumped into you before.
Never seen each other before.
Yeah. Actually, it'd be really funny if Kelle and Yennek.
I assume I would have quarters quite close to wherever sickbay is.
Oh, Hunt's off to bed.
Yeah, and Thatcher goes to his own room and drifts off for the night.
Yep. Kelle's asleep unless there's some medical emergency I don't know about.
I'm assuming Yennek is studying or something. Reading something. Because I don't know how much sleep Vulcans need, but... So, no, we'll say he's poring over some Starfleet material. If he hasn't been told anything about what's happened, then he's just poring over random stuff, but...
Yes, he has not been notified yet. When is he going on shift?
Let's say in 2 standard hours. Report to the bridge. And read the shift report for the previous people.
Okay. So you come onto the bridge, the captain's there, he said, Yennek, good. We have diverted to the Assyrian system. We have received a call for assistance, is how it was put, that there has been a death. We have very little information other than that. Our ETA is less than a day. We will be going into yellow alert upon arrival. And going from there. There's nothing there but an asteroid field and a gas planet. There's not been any Federation, even research in that sector at all. So there's a lot of mysteries at this time.
Okay, so we are going to... What was the name of the planet?
The system is the Assyrian system.
Assyrian? Okay.
And the bridge is yours.
Well, I will contact whomever is in charge of cartography and ask them if they have any information on this system.
Mr. Thatch did so. Then there is next to nothing. I would suggest we possibly run our sensors on at least mapping when we get there. It'd be something to add to the database.
Okay, so I will contact whomever else is in the sciences division and have them prepare probes to be launched when we enter in from warp to chart the system and scan the system. And then also we'll prepare our ship scanners to be looking for anything, probably to be looking for any other ships or any traces of other ships as we come in. We didn't get the nature of their distress call or anything?
All we received was it was pre-recorded, and it just said asking for assistance, and that there had been a death. We do not know anything surrounding if it was an accident or the nature of that death.
Do we know how old the recording was?
I do not know.
We will make our best efforts to properly address the situation. Okay, when I feel that it's appropriate and she's slept long enough, I will contact the doctor, the good doctor, and tell her to make preparations in sick bay for whatever. If I listen to the message, if I think it's humans, then whatever. We've received a distress call from a humanoid, possibly Earth-based people, and will be arriving at the planet. I guess at this point it would be shortly, right? So.
All right. Any idea what kind of emergency I should prepare for?
None as of yet. You're going to want to have enough equipment set aside to perform an autopsy. And there may be some medical assistance also required.
Understood, sir.
Fortunately, I don't have any more information than that at this time.
All right. I will be prepared for anything.
Okay. So I'm guessing as the ship gets closer, that's when we'll deploy the probes and start doing our long-range scans.
Yeah, you're about 20 hours out, from actual arrival.
Oh, okay. So, how is the ship performing?
Fine. It seems to be. There seems to be no problems. Everything seems to be in the red, green. Everything's red. We're done. We're done.
It's all in the red.
Oh, dear.
We've come apart.
Apart at the seams. Okay.
Everywhere
Just the way we
it's
like
all
it.
red.
This ship is our ride or die. Okay.
Yeah, everything's been good. It's humming along quite happily.
Okay. And what about the crew performance metrics? How are they?
It depends on the shift. The day shift has been really good. There is some issues with the night shift.
And forgetting who they are.
Exactly. Okay. You know what? I guess I'll have to take this time then too to go to the quartermaster to Pring and ask her for some equipment for an away party if necessary. And we'll need our Type 2 phasers and our EVA suits, and unfortunately I don't know a whole lot else at the moment.
And she's looking at you like it's you again.
It's me again, yes. You
She
had
doesn't
better
say
get
it,
used to seeing
but
me.
she's looking like it. Well, why do you want the EVA suits again?
We don't know a lot about the system that we're going to. This is purely a precautionary measure.
Do you intend to wear my EVA suits everywhere you go?
Yes. I will always be asking for these things to be prepared for us.
And yes was also going to be her answer to your question.
Well, as long as everyone knows where they stand.
No, of course it's there's no feelings involved when it's Vulcans. We're just answering and asking questions. That's literally all it is. So yes, I will tell her that if I don't know what we are walking into, I am taking any precautions that I deem are necessary. In this case, that involves the use of the EVA suits. After that, I mean, we've still got who knows how long to get there. Who else? I'm gonna go talk to the doctor.
All right. Kelle is just sitting in her office writing notes about the doctor and how radiation may have affected her.
That's what I was coming to talk to you about.
Understands she is going to have to testify to that.
Yes. And so I was just gonna go in there and talk to you about that, and just kind of give you more detail into how her little monologue that she had was extremely uncharacteristic for one who has chosen the path for a Vulcan who has chosen the path of science.
All right.
Her monologue seemed to be so devoid of logic that it was alarming to me. So clearly something was a strong influence, and I'll explain to the doctor how Vulcans have such strong emotions, but through the Kolinar we learn to suppress them. So perhaps that radiation just removed that inhibition?
That would make sense with my findings so far, as everything that I know about this sort of radiation, it's not the kind of thing that would have created new ideas or animosities in a person. It may, however, have brought those closer to the surface, or, as you say, removed inhibitions. It should not have been able to cause the beliefs behind her actions, but it may have caused a lessening of self-control. That is definitely a possibility.
Fascinating that didn't show up in any scans that were done on her overall physiology.
Yes, I
would have thought blood pressure might be different. Something might be different if it's something that has happened.
Yes, I do wonder if anything would have been noted in her overall health records. I will have to request those and look into that further.
That's probably about it for Yennek. Yennek will ask if there's nothing else, then I will be back onto the bridge.
Yes, thank you. If I have any other questions about the incident, I will let you know.
I turn and go back to the turbolift and back up to the bridge.
And I will remain in my office.
So a day would mean it's back on the late shift again. All right. So my concern is that, Hunt's going to make sure, knowing that we're probably going to drop in towards the end of his shift, that he's going to be well rested before he starts his shift anyway. So, then when it's time for his shift, he'll head up to the bridge.
I understand you were on duty when the distress call was received yesterday.
Yes, XO.
Any thoughts or any further information you'd care to share?
What were you told by the captain?
We've heard there's been a death. We heard it was a pre-recorded message.
Yes, pre-recorded message, female voice,
okay.
Sounded like someone who was in charge, reported a death. It was very... the communication was very garbled, so I'm not sure whether that was because of our range or... But I've actually... Because I didn't even think of that until now, so...
Did the voice sound human?
Yes.
So, as a human, did the voice elicit any feelings from you? Did the message or the voice, did you have a feel for, was this a truthful message? Was this a legitimate message? Or was it something that was perhaps falsified? Could it have been simulated by a computer, stitching together a bunch of recorded bits from other messages?
I have to admit, Exo, I'm completely taking this at face value.
That is perfectly good.
Did Yennek come up to hunt at the helm, or was this as he was entering?
No.
Breach?
You didn't. No, it would be
Okay.
As you.
So if you give me a moment,
settled into your thing.
yeah. If you give me a moment, sir, I'll double check the message and see if we can't glean any more information. So accesses the comm panel and see if there's any new messages coming through, or if it's just one that was a recorded message. Was it on repeat or anything like that, or? And it was on repeat. Is it coming through clearer now, or now that we're closer? Okay. So I guess I gleaned as much as what I could from the garbled message. There's really no extra information based on what I'm hearing now. As we're coming closer into range, it's.
I was only asking because
static.
Hearing the message as a Vulcan person, I might only hear the words that are being said. You being a member of possibly the same race might hear some subtle context that's not perceptible to people of other races. That's all I was trying to get from you when I was asking you the questions about how did you feel listening to the message.
Hunt sort of shifts on his chair, sort of turns towards you. Maybe there's something you're missing with human interaction. There is well-documented cases throughout human history where humans can listen to other humans, and we completely miss the signals that are being conveyed to us. So just because we're human and we relate to other humans doesn't necessarily mean that we're able to communicate those things either A, effectively, or be able to receive those communications effectively. Well, there's definitely this person does sound kind of stressed out. I don't think this has been put together by a computer or anything. It sounds like a genuine recording.
So there might be some halts or pauses in between the words that might tip you off that maybe she's under some duress.
It could be caused by the death of someone close to her. Well, okay, so I've obviously talked to some girls in my time. Yep. So Hunt's got his hand up to his right hand up to his chest, and he's rubbing his chest up up and down as you do when you go shining a medal. I've had to console a few girls when they're obviously distraught, and this sort of sounds more that. All right, we'll be coming out of warp momentarily.
And the captain comes onto the bridge.
Okay. We'll tell him, I guess, entering planetary orbit momentarily, sir.
Excellent.
All right, so the ship drops out of warp. Everything comes into view. I'm not sure what the solar system looks like, so I'll leave that up to the GM to describe.
It looks pretty empty. There's one gas giant, but it's not the size that you normally have seen for gas giants to be. And there is a asteroid field that seems to be circling it, and the asteroids aren't, or at least don't appear to be erratic from this just looking at it. It doesn't seem to be a very erratic field.
Is there a sun in this system, or
very distant?
All right. Okay.
I mean, when I say very distant, we're talking stellar distances, not,
Yeah. We'll take the ship to yellow alert.
Yep. So the shields come up, weapons don't. It's a defensive status.
Aura walks over to a terminal, presses some buttons, and kind of plots a route that goes through the system, kind of getting close to the gas giant and kind of near some of the asteroids.
And you can see the probes glowing engines as they fly off into the system.
And what are the ship scanners picking
I
up?
was going to say, Mr. Thatch, what's out there?
Well, not much more than what we saw from further away. I'm still not picking up any ships. The distress call... Sir, I've just detected, something on our scans. It looks like there's a Federation building, with 4 smaller ones surrounding it on a asteroid along the asteroid belt. It appears like there's a very high energy output for such a small facility. It looks like it still has power and gravity. And I'm only detecting 1 life form at the moment. It also looks like on one of the other asteroids there's a small crashed transport ship. Looks like it's been there for a while. I'd say at least 30 years.
How old do you think the facility is?
It could be that old. But I wouldn't say it's any older than that. It's hard to tell exactly how old.
I don't think Narendra was even here 30 years ago.
Someone got here before that?
And he points to, like, somewhat vaguely to the view screen, like, here? They came here?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Of all the places to go.
On screen, if you please.
And Aura will press a couple more buttons, and a zoomed in picture from one of the probes that were launched appears on the screen.
And the buildings definitely are placed. They don't look like they are the result of a crash that's had to be, like, built out of what's left or in an erratic manner. They definitely seem to have been organised in a specific way.
But they're placed on an asteroid? Or
that is correct.
Planet? They're placed on an asteroid.
They are on an asteroid.
Do they look like... Well, would we have any idea? Are these things that are part of newer Starfleet or older Starfleet? Like, you know what I mean? They might have changed the... They might have used to have hexagon-shaped portable housing units, and now they've gone to octagon or something like that.
They would definitely appear older if Yennek had studied anything remotely to do with the prefab nature of Starfleet or Federation buildings and that.
Yeah, and he sort of lets out a, wow, those are prefabs from a bygone era.
Are they
We'll come across a few out on the rims. Starfleet issue. Sometimes colonists get their hands on them, and they're actually quite useful for setting up temporary facilities.
Okay. So I'll ask the captain if... I'll propose that we take an away team to the asteroid once we've finished scanning the system.
Very good, Mr. Yennek. Form your team.
Okay. Well, we'll need the Doctor, Commander Hunt, and Lieutenant Thatcher.
Very good.
Report to the transporter?
We will stay a safe distance, but within transporter range.
Okay, so then we go to T'Pring to get our 4 EVA suits and weapons, and the doctor. I guess I would tell the doctor to have her med kit and the stuff if she has to do something of an autopsy as well down there. But obviously you'd be bringing stuff back to the ship too. But just trying to prepare for any shocking eventualities.
Well, no response on Hales, sir. So it looks like we'll have to go down there and manually check it out anyway.
Any information from the probes?
They're starting to map. There's you're getting stellar cartography, what you expect, but they're not bringing up anything that stands out as
nothing
being
shocking.
Right.
Or anything like that.
Right.
You did get some energy readings, right?
Yeah, so you got very high energy readings.
Right. Yeah, unusually high. That's right too. Okay. Well, as soon as everybody's suited up and prepared to go, we will beam down. Unless there's anything else anybody had to do.
Nope. Well, Hunt will get up from the obviously the helm and head down to get fitted in the EVA suit.
Kelle will grab what she was asked to bring and head there as well.
And Aura will walk down with the commander.
And there's a young engineer in the transporter room.
I'm going to make sure we have some. I guess Thatcher would be asked to bring some stuff that we can get accurate dating on some of the materials and stuff down there, like some of the Starfleet stuff, to get an exact date of how long it's been since that stuff's been installed there.
Sure, I can bring my field science kit.
Curse you.
What?
Oh no.
The little lugger science backpack, my first field trip backpack or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It just sounded like you were cursing Aura's field science kit.
Oh no.
I was confused. I thought that was a good idea.
And then we just hear, curse you.
As Hunt enters the transporter bay, or transporter room, should I say? So hey, he'll give a wink to the engineer as he steps onto the pad.
She smiles.
Aura rolls his eyes a little bit.
How can you roll your eyes a little bit?
It's just part of the way, and then stops rolling his eyes.
As he
You
notices
can't-
Hunt looking at him.
You can't tell if it's an actual roll of the eye or if it was just him looking around. But it was definitely him rolling his eyes.
And she energizes when everyone appears ready. Voyages of the USS Pegasus utilises the excellent official rules Star Trek Adventures released by Mephidius Games. Featuring Emily as Lieutenant Kelle, Shadow as Lieutenant Aura, Raveninsane as Commander Hunt, Ken as Commander Yennek, and Ghost as the GM. Many of the sounds come from Syrinscape, an excellent app for bringing more life to your gaming table. You can find us at critfail.com.